What China's powerful economy will look like in 5 years. The Chinese economy was almost always afloat until 2015, when the stock market crashed. After that, serious problems began. In 3 days at that moment, China's capitalization lost $2.8 trillion. After that, in December of the same year, there was a double devaluation, and the yuan lost 137 basis points. After that, the outflow of capital from China increased 7 times. What will happen to the Chinese economy in 5 years? Some of the key factors that are likely to affect China's economy in the coming years include its industrial and technological development, trade relations with other countries, domestic consumption, and government policies. In addition, China's efforts to transition to a more sustainable and innovative economy will play a significant role in shaping its economic future. It is important to note that there are also potential problems and risks that could affect China's economy, such as demographic changes, environmental issues, and geopolitical tensions. However, in general, it is likely that China will remain a major economic power and will continue to play a significant role in the global economy in the next 5 years. Despite the situation in 2015, China recovered very quickly after the stock market crash. Its trade policy helped it in this, and the rapidly growing exports of goods from different countries, such as processing birch from Russia, which, after processing into furniture, was exported in large quantities to the United States. This industry performed well until the end of 2021. When the conflict between Russia and Ukraine did not spread to all countries of the world. Then the timber trading shop was closed, and China found a new source of growth in its capitalization. Russia restricted everyone's access to oil and gas by overstating the price. This greatly affected the cost of heating throughout the European Union and individual US states, but no one raised the price for China, and Russia made a preferential price for the purchase of oil and gas so that China could take even more volume. China in turn began to export oil and gas to the United States and the European Union, making the price of it slightly lower than Russia offered. Thereby he took away a significant part of exports, continuing to increase his capitalization. If you look at the entire Chinese economy, you can see that it has not always been successful. For example, after World War II, the Chinese economy was in deep decline, and a significant part of entrepreneurs fled to Taiwan and Hong Kong. At that moment, Mao Zedong was trying to solve the problem of economic decline. He built thousands of enterprises and mines, more than 595 factories. Due to all this, the economy grew by 128% in 5 years. But after the rupture of relations with the USSR and adverse weather factors, an economic crisis and mass famine began in the country. Then in the 1980s, China began to encourage foreign investment in Shenzhen, Zhuhai, Shantou and Xiamen. Various American enterprises began to appear in these areas, and thus the Chinese economy began to stabilize. Looking into the future of China's economy, there is a clear understanding of how it will develop and due to what factors. The first factor is influential acquaintances. For example, Russia, which has helped China's economy develop over the past decades, and cheap wood and cheap natural resources serve as an example of development. This also includes the United States, although their relations seem to be slightly strained. In a global sense, this does not affect trade in any way, it only blocks oxygen in partial areas. Economic relations between China and the United States are built on the basis of diverse transactions, investments, trade and foreign aid. China and the United States are two of the largest economies in the world, and their interactions have a significant impact on the global economy. The volume of trade between China and the United States is very large, and the United States is the largest consumer of Chinese goods. China, in turn, is the largest creditor of the United States, as it is a significant holder of American bonds and other types of debt securities. However, relations between the two countries are sometimes strained due to trade disputes, intellectual property and other issues. Both countries are subject to mutual tariffs and other trade restrictions, which can negatively affect their economies and global trade in general. In general, the economic relations between China and the United States are complex and multidimensional, and they have a significant impact on the global economy. Acquisition of Smithfield Foods by the Chinese company Shuanghui International. In 2013, the Chinese company Shuanghui International acquired the American pork producer Smithfield Foods for $7.1 billion. This deal was the largest purchase of an American company by a Chinese investor and allowed the Chinese company to gain access to U.S. technology and markets. Alibaba's investment in Lyft. In 2018, the Chinese company Alibaba invested about $300 million in the American ride-hailing service provider Lyft. This partnership allowed Lyft to gain access to Alibaba's resources and expertise, as well as open up to the Chinese market. A car manufacturing deal between Tesla and Chinese partners. As part of its expansion strategy in the Chinese market, Tesla has signed a deal with local Chinese partners to build a gigafactory plant in Shanghai. This allowed Tesla to significantly reduce production costs and increase turnover in the Chinese market. These are just a few examples of successful deals and investments between the two countries, which are only part of the close economic relationship between China and the United States. Deals between the United States and China do not always bring tremendous success. For example, USA. The purchase by the American company Walmart of the Chinese manufacturer of electronics and household appliances TCL Corporation turned out to be a failure due to poor product quality and supply problems. China. The purchase by Chinese company Huawei of the American chip manufacturer Qualcomm led to serious problems due to the trade conflict between the United States and China, which led to export restrictions and could greatly affect Huawei's business. These are just two examples of transactions that caused the economy of not only China, but also the United States to suffer. And there are many more such examples to be found. Nowadays, the economy benefits only from the global sale of weapons for military special operations. For example, only the United States, Great Britain, Poland and the Czech Republic supplied Ukraine with tanks and ammunition worth €33 billion, which drove the country into even greater debts. By the way, here's an interesting fact for you. Because of the conflict between Russia and Ukraine, Ukraine was helped by the total debt, for which Ukraine will not pay off the next 1,000 years. And as for the Chinese economy, it tries not to get involved in serious conflicts, to be friends with absolutely the whole world, and look everywhere for benefits, so it is not afraid of any sanctions and threats to the economic system. It will grow. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and like this video, because new videos come out consistently every 2 days. I'm trying just for you. Share this video with your